Hypo. Good Shabbos, everyone. Good Shabbos, good Shabbos. It is also the Erev Pesach actually has arrived. And I was talking with Leah earlier, I don't know about you guys, but Purim to Passover this year seemed to happen very, very quickly. And last year, it seemed to take so much longer. And perspective. We are, as human beings, people who often have a weird relationship with perspective, and knowing that what we are experiencing now will not be what we experienced before and will not be what we will experience in the future. And that's why it's so important that we maintain and really focus on what is going on right in front of us. The only way to truly develop spiritually, to develop a relationship with God, to develop a relationship with anyone is in the present. And that's what we're doing here. That's what Shabbat is for, is to really remind us of the perspective and the importance of truly being where we are. And where we are right now is with each other on a Friday night, the Friday night Shabbat Hagadol, one day before Passover. So I want to just give everyone an opportunity now to wish each other a Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Good Shabbos, good Shabbos.
Shalom.
We'll be saying that soon. Greetings are so important. Don't take it personal. I will mute, and then we will get started, as we always start, on page 16 with Shalom Aleichem.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom, Kendra.
Shabbat Shalom.
Okay, now mute yourselves. Eileen.
Oh, sorry.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Yasher Koach to you, Cantor, and thank you for leading us this most important Shabbat. It is one of two Shabboses in the year which have been elevated in the Jewish tradition, and I'll explain that a little later. We turn to page 38 for Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Ishmi'anu el hameuchad, Adonai echad, Ushemo echad, L'shem ol tiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Bo'oi v'shalom ateret ba'ala. Gam b'simcha u'v'sachala. Toch emunei am segula. Bo'oi chala, bo'oi chala. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekabela.
If you'd like, please be seated as we have formally welcomed in the Sabbath bride. We now turn our attention really to God's wonderful works, the creation, and our gratitude for it. Truly, there are miracles happening. What is a miracle? A miracle, quite simply, is something that you and I don't understand. The minute we understand it, it doesn't really become a miracle anymore. And the truth of the matter is though intellectually we may understand some of the things that are happening in the world around us, truly, truly, we are in awe of all of the things that are happening in its proper place and its proper time, and that we can look and see the handiwork of our Creator. And that is exactly what page 50 is about as we enter into our formal worship. Ma'ariva Remedim.
El Chai v'kayam, Tamidim loch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Amahariv Arahavim.
With everlasting love, you have loved the house of Israel, teaching us your Torah, its mitzvot, laws, and judgments.
Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot ukimu mishpatim otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shachbenu u'v'kumeinu nasiach be'ukecha v'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha u'b'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki hem chayenu ve'orech yamenu u'vahem negei yomam v'layla ki hem chayenu ve'orech yamenu u'vahem negei yomam v'layla Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yamenu uvahem negei yomam v'layla. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yamenu uvahem negei yomam v'layla. Ve'avatecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, v'chol levavcha, u'v'chol nafshecha, u'v'chol me'otecha, ve'hayu advarim ha'ele, asher anochi metzavecha, hayom alevavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, u'v'lechtecha v'derech, u'shachbecha u'v'kumecha, u'kshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot b'heinenecha, u'ktavtam al mezuzot beitecha, u'visharecha.
Thus said the Lord to Moses, speak to the children of Israel and bid them to make fringes in the corners of their garments throughout the generations, putting upon the fringes of each corner a thread of blue. When you look upon the fringes, you will be reminded of all the commandments of the Lord and obey them. You will not be led astray by the inclination of your heart or by the attraction of your eyes. Thus will you be reminded to fulfill all my commandments and be consecrated to your God. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I, the Lord, am your God.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Wanted to just take a quick moment. We were briefly speaking about perspective, our perception, that at times which comes through our eyes, how we view the world, how we see things. And sometimes it can get a little twisted because aren't we filtering the entire world through our own thoughts, our own experiences, our own emotions? And all of us have a varied experience. And so when we talk about somebody's perspective, it's going to be as varied as people are on this chat and at this service. There's a wonderful pasuk, and we just read it, that says, Velo taturu acharei levavchem. Latur, taturu, and here it is that you will be, that you are not led astray. You are not led astray after your heart or your eyes, but it literally means, Latour means to be and go on a tour. That's how it's translated. Latour means to go on a tour. In other words, don't be a tourist. Don't walk around the world as though you are a tourist. How many of us, certainly as soon as we're able to get back to some normal vacation patterns, or going to visit different places, or even being visiting somebody, that we will in a lot of ways have new eyes. If you've ever been on a vacation and you go to a place like Paris, Jerusalem, New York, maybe even San Francisco, San Diego, don't you have that feeling when you're there, like, my gosh, this is really interesting how they do things here? Or isn't it cool that this coffee shop is this? I wish I could live here. Always looking at what is at some other place. Always looking at what is happening there and trying to apply it to what is in our life today. That's the challenge with perspective. This prayer is saying, don't live your life as though you are a tourist. Take responsibility of your life as it is a life in which you are living. This is your life. This is the opportunity to truly take it in as though it is such a wonderful and exciting place. You can walk outside of your front door right now and you can view it however you want. It's just the same old neighborhood in which you've lived for some time, or you can view it as a wonderful place that has opportunity and has possibility. Velo taturu acharei anechem. Do not be a tourist of your own eyes. Do not be somebody who is not taking responsibility for the place in which they live right now. Let's take a moment as we enter into really Shabbos with a part of the Kiddush when we rise on page 64 for Vishamru. And this is really and truly a prayer that when we bring motion, it does bring emotion. So we get moving around and we get excited about what's to come in this 25-hour period before Passover.
Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asod et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asod et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam, oti le'olam, Oti leolam veshamru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat la'asod et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz ve'shamru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat la'asod et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ubayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat la'asod et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam.
In keeping with our tradition of two things. One is that we like to get moving to bring a little more emotion to what it is that we're doing. What better way than to enter into this season with Micha Mocha as we prepare for the Amidah? But our cantor has always brought the spirit of the crossing of Bnei Yisrael at the Sea of Reeds, that it was done once the miracle occurred. They broke into song and dance. And again, when things happen in the world that we don't quite understand, that we can't logically figure out, and that we really sense God's handiwork or truly a miracle, a sense of awe, a sense of wonder, what are we left with but to sing?
Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai 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 lai 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 Micha mocha bailim Adonai Micha mocha nerdar bakodesh Norat tehilot osei feleh Norat tehilot osei feleh Malchutecha ra'u banecha Bokei hayam livnei Moshe Zei anu ve'amru Zei anu ve'amru Adonai yimlo le'olam ba'ed Adonai yimlo le'olam ba'ed Micha mocha bailim Adonai Micha mocha nerdar bakodesh Norat tehilot osei feleh Norat tehilot osei feleh Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai 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 lai 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 lai.
Please rise as we enter into our silent prayers for the Ma'ariv Amida on the Sabbath, which can be found on page 68.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agid tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory.
Grant abundant and lasting peace to your people, Israel, and to all who dwell on earth. For you are the supreme sovereign of all peace. May it please you to bless your people, Israel, in every season and in every hour with your peace. Praised are you, O Lord, bestower of peace upon your people, Israel.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et tamcha Yisrael b'chol et u'b'chol sha'a b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Tasim leolam.
There we go.
Tasim leolam.
We now offer a Misha Berach for those who are in need of healing spiritually, mentally, physically. And if you could please put the names of those who are in need of our thoughts, our prayers, of a Misha Berach, if you could put those names in the chat as we recite the Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu Makor HaBracha Limotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Makor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
May God send a speedy recovery for those in need, a refuah shlema, a refuah nefesh, a refuah guf, a complete healing of mind and body. And we all say, Amen. Yasher Koach to you, Cantor. Just a few words of Torah. I briefly said that there were two Shabbosim, two Shabbases, in which are unique. And why are they unique? This one is Shabbat HaGadol. The great Sabbath is always the Sabbath before Passover. It just so happens that Shabbat HaGadol is literally Erev Pesach, which doesn't happen often, maybe 12 times in the past century, which is, I guess, 12% of the time. Yeah, I think my math is right. I'm not a mathematician, but that seems about right. In any event, there's also another Shabbos, Shabbat Tshuva, which is the Shabbos between Rosh Hashanah and, of course, Yom Kippur. Why are these two connected? It's interesting. They meaning, scholars, that one of the reasons that these two Shabboses are unique is that why is it that you need to have a special Shabbos before Yom Kippur and before Passover? Why do you need it? And the reason that they came up with is they think that this was a time in which rabbis actually gave a sermon. Twice a year, rabbis gave a sermon. Could you imagine a world in which only twice a year the rabbi would give a sermon? Because the function was to help people with all of the Sabbath laws and spiritually to prepare somebody. The Passover laws. They would spend time preparing people with sermons for the Passover laws, and then of course preparing people spiritually for Yom Kippur. And I've always thought that was an interesting thing, that not on Yom Kippur and not on Passover that the sermons were, but that the week before to prepare you. So what is the purpose? What is the purpose? Not necessarily the goal, right? If we look at everything that we've done over the past week, for example, was to get us to the goal. The goal is, of course, to have a nice Seder. We go out, we purchase things. I don't know about you guys. I spent an enormous amount of money over the course of the past couple of weeks just preparing for this week, whether it's new food, cleaning the kitchen, getting new items, realizing that this doesn't work. Oh my gosh, having to run back out to Target. Oh my gosh, so many things. But that it's to get to the goal. But what these two Shabbases, and in particular Shabbat HaGadol, does is get us prepared. For it is important for us to remember a real fundamental fact of life. Too often people are goal focused. You ever heard that? What are your goals? What are your goals? Who cares what your goals are really in the end? We all have goals, don't we? We want to do this, we want to do that. But isn't it more the process to get there? The work that you do on a daily basis to get to that thing is more important. And if we focus only on the goal, then what does it mean about us getting to the goal? What does it mean for us to get into the process? And that is what Shabbat HaGadol is about, to remind us on one level that it is so important, the process, that we get caught up so much in just what the goal is and how we're going to get there, that we don't really enjoy the process. We don't take into consideration the important parts that go into the whole. And when we miss that, then our perspective gets off. Then what's the point of the goal anyways? If we don't achieve the goal through the process and enjoy the process, then what's the point of the goal anyways? So I want to wish you guys a Shabbat Shalom. May we really enjoy the process so that when the day comes for the actual Seder, when the day comes for the actual goal to happen, it is something not only to celebrate, but something for us to truly, truly appreciate it in all its facets. Shabbat Shalom, a Chag Sameach, a happy and healthy and kosher Passover, one in which we can all really see that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that there is at least I'm feeling it. I hope you are feeling it too, that this spring truly is going to be a spring in which there will be new things blossoming, new relationships blossoming, and new experiences really coming to fruition. Shabbat Shalom. We now conclude our service with Aleinu on page 118.
Please rise. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gerula leotzer breshit, shalo asanu kegoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shalo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu koreim, umishtachavim umodim, Lifnei Melech Malchei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shehu Notei Shamayim Ve'oser Haaretz Umoshav Yikaro B'Shamayim Ha'al Ushchinatu Zo Begavhei Meromim Hu Eloheinu Ein Od Emet Malkeinu Efezulato, Kakatuv Betorato, Veyadata Hayom, Vahashevota, Elevavecha, Ki Adonai Hu HaElohim, Vashamayim Imha, Ve'al Haaretz, Mitachat, Ein Od. Okay.
For sovereignty is yours, and to all eternity you will reign in glory, as it is written in your Torah, the Lord shall reign forever and ever. And it has been foretold, the Lord shall be sovereign over all the earth. On that day, the Lord shall be one, and shall be acclaimed as one.
Kakatu b'Toratecha, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, v'ne'emar, v'haya Adonai lamelech al kol haaretz, v'yom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
May the memories which we cherish and lovingly now recall inspire us so to live, that we too may bequeath a heritage of precious memories to those whom we shall leave behind. In tribute to our departed, may we enrich the lives we touch. May we share and preserve the faith which our mourners will now affirm as they rise to sanctify God's name in the hallowed words of the Kaddish, which can be found on page 124. And I invite those who are mourning or observing Yortzeit, please rise. This week's Yortzeits: Rima Feinstein, mother of Olga Kusid; Beverly Fine, mother of Judy Fine Eichner; Sidney S. Fine, father of Judy Fine Eichner; Penina Hauptman, mother of Reuben Hauptman; Charlene Kaplan, friend of Marianne and David Simon; Ethel Kenyon, grandmother of Suzanne Mendoza; Anna Lubitz, grandmother of Alan Bond; Dorothy Maston, grandmother of Joshua Levine; Stephen Miller, son of Sandra and Spencer Schwartzbach; Herbert Neff, father of Bruce Neff; Larry Rabkin, father of Mark Rabkin; Jack Schultz, father of Vicky Hauptman; Bailey Street, nephew of Yvonne Medoff; Lawrence Withers, husband of Audrey Withers; Anna Youngwood, mother-in-law of Denise Youngwood. And we're in the Shloshlim of Bruce Mishner, brother-in-law of Elizabeth Yost. Again, the mourner's Kaddish can be found on 124. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, ve'amad divra chirutei be'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, Bagala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabam v'rach le'olam u'me'omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudsha b'richu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran b'yama v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Say shalom ben Rumav, kuya asay shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May God, who makes harmony in the universe, grant peace and harmony to us, to all Israel and all humankind, and let us all say amen. Yasher Koach to you, Cantor, for a wonderful service, and hope you all can feel the energy as we enter into this most exciting season of spring reflection, moving from slavery to freedom and new experiences all within a few days. So please, please, please wish each other a Chag Sameach. Let's do Kiddush first as we all rise on page 90. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu. V'shabbat kodsho b'avav ratzon hinchilanu, zikaron ma'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'charta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha v'ahava u'ratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Shabbat Shalom, L'chaim. Please unmute yourself and wish each other a good Shabbos and a Chag Sameach.
Hag Sameach, good
Happy
Shabbos.
Passover.
Good Shabbos, Hag Sameach.
Hag Sameach, good Shabbos, everybody.
Hag Sameach.
Hag Sameach.
Hag Sameach.